Hey everyone! Today we're going to continue my series on additives for melt and pour soap, and we're talking about oatmeal and oats. What can you add and what can you not add? I'm starting with the easiest, Crafter's Choice, oatmeal-based, detergent-free or premium. It does not matter to me which one you use, but any or which brand. You could use Stevenson's. Most of the brands I know carry some type of an oatmeal soap. That is the easiest way. It is done for you. It is, and we know it's safe. Rolled oats, old-fashioned oats, those are the same thing, but you will see them labeled differently. Steel cut, colloidal oats, all of those will work fine. The ones you want to avoid are instant oatmeal. Never, ever use that. Or quick oats. Those are both more susceptible, very susceptible, to rotting in your soap. We don't want that. This is why we're talking about additives one at a time, because there's a lot to go over. Right up on the screen, I'm just kind of giving you my percentages of what I'm using in my soap. By no means are you obligated to use the same fragrances or amounts. I tend to stick with lower amounts. And this one in particular, I very rarely use a cinnamon fragrance oil in my soap. And when I do, I use it at very small amounts. So you see literally like 2 drops for this one. Please never use cinnamon fragrance oil. I'm sorry. Use fragrance oil. Please never use cinnamon essential oil or cassia, however you say that. Please don't use those. As a person who is highly reactive to those on my skin, I really recommend you don't use that or actual cinnamon either, because some people, me, are very, very sensitive to it. And I know I'm not the only one. Mad Mica Sparkle Sunshine, that's what I add. You can't see it a lot because it's an opaque soap. So in this one, it just adds a little bit of a dimension as you're using it. You do see the sparkle. It's just not as great as if you're using it in a clear soap. I like to add that to my oatmeal soap. I don't even know why, other than I like sparkly things. So I usually will put that in with I think it started, honestly, when I started using the oatmeal-based soap for my sand in my many beach-themed projects. And so I'll add apricot seed powder, which I do not add in these soaps, and I'll add a little glitter, and it makes it look... gives it the texture of sand, and then the little glistening bit, which as somebody who grew up near the beach, it definitely does glisten in the sun if you have not seen beach sand close up. This soap is so easy. There's really no instructions with this other than don't overheat it. You see here it's at 120 when I pour it. With a detergent-free base, especially this brand, I wouldn't take it over 125 to get it melted. It melts very easily, has a very low melting point, and the detergent-free usually do have a lower melting point. So that's really the basic thing to be aware of in that. This one, I'm using the detergent-free clear base. I want to have a little note here. You see how yellowed that is. That is because it's older and did sit in a clear container. If you want to avoid that and it's going to be sitting for a while without you using it, I recommend putting it in a darkened area where it's not going to be affected by the sun, kind of like your fragrances will. Sometimes some of the dyes and such that we use are also affected by the sunlight. So that's all that is, and I'm using it in soaps like this where it really doesn't matter if it's a little yellowed. So that was a choice. And again, with the Mad Mica Sparkle Sunshine, this soap is a little less opaque by the time I'm done with it. So the sparkle will show up a little bit better in this one. For the fragrance oil, I used the same fragrance oil, and this time, instead of adding cinnamon fragrance oil to give the oatmeal milk and honey a little boost, I used a gingerbread fragrance oil. I am adding colloidal oats. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon is what I tend to use for this. Is just, I'm making a 4-ounce soap, and that's it. So I'll probably put a tablespoon when I do a full a pound or more than that. That's the way I do it. There are schools of thought that say you can't add more than a teaspoon of all of your things combined. The brand I use does have a higher percentage of additives that are allowed, and there are also very vast differences in the types of additives you're adding that make a difference. You don't need to accommodate for how many poppy seeds you're adding and take that away from your fragrance oil. That's not going to change the chemistry of the soap, I promise. So if you read through, hopefully, what was up there, I created a slurry with that colloidal oatmeal. It's the easiest way to incorporate it, in my opinion. You could probably use alcohol. I don't like to use alcohol with something like that or with clays as much because I'd rather create a slurry with the soap. The alcohol is going to soak into those, and it's just going to take it longer to evaporate out. It will evaporate out, but it'll take longer. Just a quick note there. I did mention when you're adding oats, and that was just a choice. The base of that soap, the whole idea was to use the colloidal oatmeal. The oats were just for a look. So that you just saw that premium beer soap, stout, no, not stout soap, beer soap, honey ale, that's it. I wanted to use that one for this. This is one I make pretty frequently. And when you use the oatmeal stout, hence the oatmeal, I like that combo. It seems to work well for me, and my customers seem to like it. It will darken a lot. The oatmeal stout has a lot of vanillin in it, and you will see in the pictures at the end that it creates a fairly dark soap. So, again, with the Sparkle Sunshine, I just can't resist. With the premium soap, it is that beer soap is nice. It foams quite nicely. I kind of fail at my lather test on that one a little, and you'll see why, or I'll talk about why when we get there. But this, again, is a fairly easy add. I'm only adding oats to this one, not the colloidal oatmeal, so I don't need to create a slurry. I'm just showing that you can add oats just for simply a little bit of exfoliation or decoration. Here's one mess up I make. Right here is where I brought it well above the nubs, and what I should have done here is let it set up so that and now it's your choice. You can do what you like. I don't like the oats sinking down into the nubs because it's kind of scratchy for me if you're using it as a massage bar, but I forgot to let it set up, and it was too late when I poured it in, and I wasn't going to make it again. So I just own up to my mistake and say I wouldn't do that if I were you. Of course, you can try it and see if you like it. Maybe you want a really extremely exfoliating massage bar. The majority of what I wanted to do with the oats in this one is just for the look of it and to provide the opposite side of the soap with a different texture. I like to do that with my massage bar soaps because someone purchasing a massage bar typically is looking for some type of an experience, a sensory experience, whether that is just, relieving tension in your muscles or helping to exfoliate your skin. It's kind of a nice double duty. I don't do that with all of my massage bar soaps, but some of them I do. So now we're at the lathering. Now, while we're lathering this up, and this is the detergent-free oatmeal base. I didn't add any oatmeal to this, but it is there, and it is mildly exfoliating on the one side where the oats tend to fall, and they do in the bases as well, even when you pour it fairly cool. You can experiment with how low you want to take that temperature and see if you can get it to stay mixed in. It does say stay mixed in somewhat, but you're always going to have a little more on the back side, which is the front in the mold I used. So while this is going on here, the pictures real quick, not pictures, the lather test. There are a lot of people who say don't put oats in your soaps and don't put this and don't put that. And there are many reasons for some of them. And some people don't like the idea of oats going down their drain. And if, honestly, if your customer or you or somebody you're gifting the soap to has a really slow drain, you might want to avoid that. But I've got to tell you, I added quite a bit of oats to some of these. They don't all come off at once. So it's not like you have a bathtub full of oatmeal trying to go down. You're going to have an oat or two. And if you have a drain that backs up, you might want to avoid using that soap in that particular sink or bathtub. But the other option to consider, and this is just a little tip, you can put a little washcloth at the drain, whether you're in the shower or at the tub. At the tub, you don't want to put it in until you have unplugged it and it is starting to drain. But put it over the drain. It will catch most of the stuff that goes down. If you don't have a screen, a washcloth will do in a pinch. So here is also my other mistake with this bar, which of course all of these, because I am testing them with the lather test, they're all for me. And so I am using them and I like them all, or I wouldn't make them. That would be a real waste. But I didn't let it set up long enough. It really didn't have to do with the oats sinking down into the whole, to the bottom, the nubs of the bar. I didn't let it sit enough. The massage bars take a little bit more time to set up, and I forgot that. I hadn't made any in quite a while. And I just figured, well, it's a premium. Those tend to set up a little bit faster, the ones with the detergent in them. And I didn't remember that. So real quick, I just want to point out, when you are using oats, one of the benefits is you do get a nice foamy lather. Oats do help with the lather, as well as skin benefits that you cannot talk about. You cannot say unless you're labeling your soap as a cosmetic, and then you still have to be careful. You can say things like moisturizing, but you can't say something that like it cures eczema. You can't say that. Even if you are positive that it does because it cured your eczema, you still can't say that, at least in the U.S. I'm in the U.S. There may be other countries that you are fine saying that with, but you just have to say that it feels great on the skin, or it moisturizes, or it's even soothing can be considered a drug according to some. So you've got to just be careful how you market it. Just saying you have oatmeal in a soap indicates to people that there's oatmeal in there. So a lot of people swear by oats in their bath and on their face, etc. So the pictures here, you're seeing some that I did not make today. I just wanted to kind of show a variety of what I do with my oatmeal soaps. This little guy is one of my favorites, my little oatsy owl. I don't know, for some reason I like owls and oatmeal together. I think they go with a kind of a fall vibe. So, well, I'm hoping I didn't leave anything out. If I did, please feel free to ask me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I thank you for your time. Have a great day. Bye.